Welcome to Session 13, where we are covering exercise theory for optimal wellness programming. This session discusses the core components of exercise and client plan modulation. It's our expectation that this session will provide the proper understanding of exercise programming based on endocrine stress. In this session, we will cover the following recommendations: aerobic, anaerobic, resistance, and flexibility.
Welcome to Session 13. My name is Larry Love, ATC.
And I am Chad Earl, CSCS, and we are going to present an introduction to exercise for the wellness client.
In this session, we will review the definition of exercise, examine and clarify recommendations, and discuss the popular perspectives of exercise design and philosophy.
In addition, we also explain the global benefits of exercise on the body. We will review metric collection as it relates to improving the longevity, vitality, and aesthetic indexes, and also explore some common misunderstandings before finishing with exercise progression, modulation, and recommendation. When examining the definition of exercise, a key point of understanding is that exercise recommendations are best utilized to increase client vitality and longevity index scoring. Aesthetics is best improved through proper nutrition and the implementation of daily recovery practices.
When examining this slide, one can see that wellness programming differs from fitness and athletic programming in three fundamental areas. First, daily time allocation is built around a minimal commitment to maintain one's ideal stage that typically ranges between 30 to 45 minutes per session, as opposed to athletic or fitness that can be 60 minutes to several hours. Secondly, weekly frequency is also reduced to the minimum that allows one to maintain the ideal stage, which is typically between 3 to 4 days per week. The last component is overall philosophy. Unlike the fitness or athletic-centered individual, the wellness client does not need or want to sacrifice relationships, social events, or occupational opportunities to maintain their goal physical expression.
Moving on to current points of view on exercise. If we were to examine the gold standards of fitness and exercise recommendations in the United States, we could distill the CDC, the American Heart Association, and the American College of Sports Medicine guidelines into simply one recommendation: daily aerobics. You can see from the recommendations on the slide that all of these organizations focus primarily on improving and increasing cardiovascular benefits.
The practitioner must understand the impact of these recommendations is that the public will associate exercise with primarily aerobic modalities and thus will require health education on the benefits of including anaerobic, resistance, and mobility training in their wellness programs.
Transitioning to the impact of industry perspectives on public beliefs, we start with the fitness industry, where their philosophy centers around individuals needing to work out frequently and intensely while taking multiple supplement products to achieve the desired conditioning and appearances that they desire. Because the outcomes around most fitness programs are based heavily around improved conditioning levels, fat loss is not best achieved through added daily exertion.
Secondly, the food industry impacts the public through dogma that positions overall caloric intake or fat intake specifically is a primary cause of weight gain or weight loss. Again, caloric intake is really only significant if the type of calorie is low in vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, essential fats, protein, and fiber. In one's diet, caloric quality is infinitely more significant to weight loss or maintenance than caloric intake or exercise expenditure.
In closing, the medical industry espouses a philosophy of just trying to do something. It can be increasing daily activity, eating more fruit and vegetables, or limiting red meat, alcohol, and sodium intake. These recommendations may create limited value for some, but for most are too generalized to create or sustain significant changes in overall health expression. This slide illustrates the impact of current nutrition and exercise recommendations on the population. One can quickly see that obesity and diabetes are on the rise, thus creating the perfect environment for the proliferation of most chronic disease states. The current industry ideology and long-standing health recommendations must be reevaluated. Practitioners need to question the current and traditional perspectives of diet, exercise, and health assessment. In closing, practitioners must become innovative as they create specialized practices to reduce future disease prevalence and incidence in the American population.